and pull it up and play it again, and we're going to play it every time in our show, and it's in them ears. You can't go around that.
And then remember, radio by its nature, as a medium, as a mass medium, is the most personal mass medium.
Yes.
Because that radio presenter is talking to you as an individual. Right? Whereas when you watch TV, clearly they're broadcasting to hundreds of thousands or millions. But when you are listening to that radio, it is a relationship between you and that presenter.
That
so that personal side of it cannot be replicated.
And
I agree with that.
I'm telling you about
and
this
culture is also important, extremely important in terms of the fact that radio shifts and keeps culture.
That's true. That's true. And one of the things I always hear some some places that only promote at airtime, but they don't promote the personality. But the personality is what drives that time. So a lot of times I hear certain places that say, oh, the personality don't matter. No, the personality matters a whole heap. So,
we're going to tell you that, listen to this track. This track is by so-and-so, produced by so-and-so, and I really like this track. And the listener here say, boy, I really like this track.
Right.
Listener start, listen.
And when them listen is when it busts.
And when them listen.
When them break it.
But we go back again.
Yeah.
You need to be provided that with tracks that you feel comfortable to say.
I'm trying not to go there. I'm trying to stay on topic.
No, but hold on. Hold on.
I'll have to tell them.
No, following the discussion at IMC, I was on a panel of Beyond the Algorithm. Right? No, part of being beyond the algorithm is things that you can do outside of the algorithm, right? How to manipulate the algorithm. But the important thing being outside of the algorithm, you need to make something that the public, the consumer, is going to be interested in. It does not matter, no matter how much promotion and money you put behind it. If it is not a product that anybody going to listen to, it is going to die.
Yeah.
And
you
that's
have to put in the work.
That's it. You have to put in the work and do something that people say, yeah, I like that.
You must campaign it on Sunday, round your grandmother. You must campaign it in the week. It must be able to be played everywhere. You can't just have it limited because it's not fit and it have all of these different terminologies that are just derogatory.
Hold on. So I'm going to go on something different. Ed Sheeran, Shape of You. Has Ed Sheeran performed in Jamaica?
No.
No, not at all.
All right, but that is the biggest dancehall tune in the last 10 years or so. So the man don't even come to Jamaica
Sunshine,
and have the biggest dancehall tune around the world. Around the world. So don't. By the way, and how did he?
Just like break? Lucky Dube was the number one reggae artist for years.
For years.
So people are using our culture and utilizing it better than us.
Yeah.
But guess what? Where are these
But no
guys?
problem with them utilizing our culture, don't it?
Where are these guys breaking? They're breaking in radio.
Yeah. It's radio.
It's not social media, it's radio.
You were saying,
but Judith made a point.
Go ahead.
Judith made a point at IMC where she said Spice would call her and say, all right, what's the list? I need a list, the radio list, to send out her tracks. Why does Spice think it is important to send her tracks to the radio DJ?
Right.
Because she's a dancehall queen and she knows what she's doing. And she understands the power of radio.
She understands.
And it can't be social media alone.
And you know what?
It's like TOK when they came on and their advice to fellow entertainers was, you can't leave out radio.
You just can't.
And here's a funny thing that was interesting. Even on the Beyond the Algorithm discussion, there was somebody there who was saying, listen, one of the things we do with our artists is that we know that this is trending now, so we jump on it now, because if you don't catch it now, it's gone tomorrow. So if it's gone tomorrow, you're really going to kill up yourself over that to be on it for tonight.
Today.
For
and
tonight
tomorrow
and
gone.
Today, and tomorrow gone.
It don't make no sense.
That don't make sense. Because it's
It's about creating your own trends. One of the things that we just said was how other persons are utilizing our culture, which actually is not necessarily something bad. This type of flattery. What the problem is that we ourselves are not holding on to the culture that everybody else finds cool and is wanting to use. So look how many genres we have given birth to. So we can look at ska, we can look at rocksteady, we can look at mento. Then we'll come back to reggae. We'll go to dancehall. We look at the fact that Kool Herc left here and went to New York and created, hip-hop. And he's the father of hip hop.
Yeah.
We look at reggaeton. We look at dembow. We look at so many things that we are a part of. Yet we're not doing enough work to ensure that no one ever forgets it.
That's true.
If it is, I mean, we're down here singing R&B sometimes, no problem. We're down here singing funk sometimes, no problem. But if it is that we think that what we have is so important, then let us hold on to it. And another thing for me too is a question that I have. I asked some of the young persons at the songwriters camp in 2026 to say, explain to me what now is dancehall, because I'm used to dancehall in particular, where how Shabba would have done it, Ninja Man would have Paket, come down the list, Praga, come down the list, Bounty Beanie. And it was music that was defining that this is dancehall. So now, what is dancehall when an artist can jump on an R&B beat and it's still called dancehall? I kind of have lost my understanding. And if it is that we are used to creating genres and we are now creating a new genre, can somebody tell me what it is?
Yeah.
Crossover.
But would you then say, Judith, in the same breath, like we all know that evolution, for example, is inevitable. So, you know, you mentioned like Shabba, for example. So, you know, that was probably an era that you can best relate to. But then you have like the younger generation, like that sound and what makes them move, you know, is different.
But
because
because when we were moving from rocksteady, we never say, oh, this is a new type of rocksteady. We changed it to something else. We say, oh, right, it is reggae we're doing now. And then when we're doing reggae and we say, no, the beat change and the thing, it's not reggae we're doing anymore, it's dance hall we're doing, which is fine. I'm fine with the evolution of it. But is it the same thing? Or have we now created a new genre, but we're not naming it?
I would even look at it a little differently.
But we're gone again.
Yeah, no, but I would look at it even a little differently, because there's always going to be evolution, right? And sometimes revolution. But as Judith is saying, you need to take ownership of it. Right. But you also need to, I go back to the word create. You need to create something new and different. And one of the issues that is out there now is that every artist or every performer is trying to be like the other artists and performers. So what we're doing is creating this homogeneous set of the same people, right? As opposed to when you look in the past, everybody was trying to do something new and different and innovative and so big.
Right.
Yeah.
That is a creative industry.
Right.
And that's what we need.
But what changed? What changed why our artists, even in the way they dress, they're following the hip hop instead of the other way around? Because remember, you know, say the hip hop community, they followed us.
No, it's vice versa.
So why is it vice versa now? Why is it that the generation now doesn't feel confident or I'm looking for a better word, pleased or happy about our culture? But
because maybe they don't even know our culture.
They don't know it.
I went to a Jamaica day in a prep school that was serving hot dogs and popcorn. So maybe we're no longer teaching our culture. Maybe we no longer understand.
I think it's a big problem. We're too Americanized. We're following other people's culture and not following our own. The red, green, and gold is like people were embarrassed to even wear it here in Jamaica. But then it's Louis or one of those big brands took it.
And it was great.
And then all of a sudden it's cool.
Yeah,
why didn't we think that it's still cool for us here?
Well, this is exactly why. You see,
I was wondering why we wear so many pairs of Nikes, and I do it myself too, rather than wearing. I was wondering why Usain never put out a line of sneakers so that we could wear some Jamaican brands.
By the way, this is where I have to big up Sean Paul.
Yeah.
Every time you see Sean Paul in a video,
Jamaica.
him have on a Bob Marley shirt. He has on something
For
Jamaican.
Jamaica.
And I will tell you, I personally hate to see a local artist wearing a New York Yankees cap or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
Not that I have a problem with that. But if you are from here, show you're from here.
If you're repping.
You're repping.
If you're repping, you're repping big, you know?
But then here's the thing. This is why at the conference, I put out a challenge publicly to the government to get on board with to implement the recommendations that were made 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? To preserve our culture and media identity. Because at the end of the day, the culture comes from radio, television, and print. Local media drives the culture.
Right.
And then we like to say we need to preserve Brand Jamaica. Brand Jamaica is attached to what? Culture. So if we now are allowing our culture to be taken over by these outside forces, which is what you just said, then Brand Jamaica don't mean anything again. It's just two words, right? So that's why I know we called on the Ministry of Finance, because there are things they need to do. Ministry of Industry and Commerce, Ministry of Tourism. We have regulators that need to be involved, like the Bureau of Standards when we're talking about the cars and so on, the radios.
Right.
These are things that need to be done. And I'll tell you the truth. The media is not asking for handouts. No. We're not. We're asking to be recognized as a strategic industry, critical to Jamaica's growth and development in the same way tourism is. Right. And they get treated as a strategic industry in the same way BPOs are.
Right.
We should be treated in the same way, because without us, there's no defense of our culture. And I will also take the opportunity to say thanks to the Ministry of Culture, because they have been doing a good job. They've been doing a lot, and they to me now are the important organization in this whole thing, to pull everything together. Because if we don't protect our culture, we will continue to have hot dog and so on at Jamaica.
But we have a big problem, you know.
Yes.
We have a big problem. We're education, and I'm not just talking about in the school education. Why did Japan create their own Beanie Man, their own Bounty Killer, their own reggae and dancehall artists? Why is it that international labels really and truly don't want to partner with us? Why is that? Why are we tardy? Why is it? Why it has become such a joke about our Jamaican time as a versus the rest of the world time, and that is a big part of the cultural problem that we are having here, as it relates to managing an artist. That some people say them is manager, they have a clue what it means, don't understand the business at all, can't read and write. We are having a serious problem. Why are you going to now come and you're going to say we're going to agree to $50, and when the song bust now you want to tell me say it's $100? So people don't want to deal with us. Why you supposed to come for a radio interview and the people them tell you 10 o'clock and you turn up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and that is okay?
Hold on. And at the end of the day, there's a term. It's creative industry, which means it's business.
It is.
Right? So it is business. It's not play stuff. It's
music business.
Hold on.
Yeah.
There was a calendar we did quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
Where the concept was IRFM DJs and presenters are also fans of the music. So what we did is we showed artists on that one, and they were jamming to the selector and thing. I can tell you, I won't call the names, but I have 3 artists who agreed to the photo shoot, and we're still waiting on them. We're still waiting on them.
But I don't know why
and not a phone call, nothing. And you're trying to reach them, nothing. And if that's how they treat us who promote them.
Yeah.
My God.
Work.
Imagine somebody else. The industry as is definitely lacks structure, which is why it is so important that IMC is in Kingston, Jamaica, a space that is accessible to the entire industry, and people have to get to a space where they tap tap in, like get information, but I don't know why workshops and these types of conversations, it don't appeal to some of the entertainers. And it also could be a situation where you go to your bed, you wake up, and today you're a big star. You're viral across social media, or you get a level of traction. There's nobody there to teach you how to conduct an interview. You do not value a manager because you're saying like, wow, your cousin can value you. Your cousin can manage you.
I'm right here to teach you how to do an interview. I'm right here.
Right? No, absolutely. Simple things.
I'm all about charging.
But
even something as simple as how to hold a microphone. You have people come for an interview and they're cupping the mic.
Yeah, it's wrong.
And the entire interview we have to say like, this is how you hold it. Do this, do that.
Right here.
Yeah, like things that are simple are not so simple, for the industry. And I think our entertainers, not all of them, clearly, they have to get to a stage where treat it like a business.
But most of the artists, they'll tell you that, I've hung around a few of them. So basically, they putting the foot on the sound system box on the stage.
The monitor box.
Yeah, the monitor box. That is the pinnacle of the performance.
Yeah, man.
You have to put your foot. If you don't put your foot on the monitor box, you're not perform properly.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And that is what they think performance is. But Judith, I mean, I really appreciated the IMC, and the first time attending the IMC.
Yes.
What you
we
think?
were happy to have you, and thank you, because we worked very, very hard at it.
Well, that cost me Judith. Maybe if it come, we couldn't reach. But I can't keep IMC. I'll be next year.
I'm pretending that I'm not hearing what you're saying.
You know that is.
But
Judith, I think keep it a conference center and I'm going to be next year, and see.
Job well done, Judith and the team.
But it was great.
Sharon Burke and, and
but what
Shaggy Burrell, who broke his last performance in France to head back home to IMC.
And we appreciate it.
Just because we're serious about the job.
And he's on his way back. He's on his way back.
But my question to Judith, what do you think? Because a lot of people didn't come to the venue
this year,
to get the information. And what do you think it could be done differently next time to get people?
A lot of people came, particularly on the first day. But I'm answering your question, what can be done differently? So let me say this. We have the full assistance from the Ministry of Culture, and they have a mailing list for everybody that is in registry. Right. So they send out information to everybody, and sometimes people actually call. Sometimes members of our team go to studios to say, hey, this thing is happening. Whoever phone number we have, we call, we send them the stuff and say, hey, we're doing this. We listen, there was a young man who flew in from Martinique who said to us he was watching Day One because Day One was streamed, and he purchased his ticket and headed on over. Guadeloupe came last year with 22 team members, right? Just to come to IMC. When other Caribbean countries come, they get their artists, they bring them to songwriters camp, they bring them to the other things. What can be done differently? Well, what we did this year was to get people to sponsor maybe artists who can't afford it, and it is not expensive. It's $200 for the full week. That's $30,000 for the full week, and you're paying more than that to go to the top concerts where you're not learning anything.
They have to put their foot on the speaker box.
On the speaker box. I think too, but we don't take it serious enough. I don't think still the average artist, and it's a comment that we made at IMC too, to say, I said to some of the persons who are the marketers in these record companies, in these other companies, firms overseas. Every time we have one person, over the years, we've been able to say, well, we have this person over there, so we know all the Jamaicans that are well placed, and we utilize them until they retire. We keep in touch with them, work with them until they retire. Then we have to try to see if another Jamaican can be in a space. And one of my questions was, why don't we form the companies down here in the Caribbean, take care of our own things, merge with Africa in terms of the numbers, and work with everybody else to do what we are doing, so that when we push out a certain number of artists, we know the type of music. We are able to market it accurately. We know where the persons are in the diaspora. We know where to reach the persons that are interested in the type of music that we do. And then, just like how the record companies groom people to send them out, and I watched this firsthand with TJ, in terms of how you break an artist. So, from my experience prior to that, I'm thinking breaking an artist is making sure you do it in Jamaica and the Caribbean and in New York and LA and London and Canada, because that's where our hubs are. But I watched them break TJ everywhere. Yeah. Everywhere. And when people were complaining, Jesus Christ, look how much time we're going to hear this song. But some people, hundreds of thousands of people had not heard it yet, and it still needed to be broken everywhere. Even the understanding of that. How come for the past 30 years we have not been able to put together a company, an organization that can handle Jamaican artists and Caribbean artists, and we do our own thing? How come? How come in 2026 still that's not there?
Vision.
Yeah.
Or lacking
with
of it.
6 minutes remaining, though, 6 minutes before Mutabaruka steps in with a cutting
Rasta.
edge.
Yes, Rasta.
We any final thoughts as it relates to the topic, radio versus new media, competition or collaboration, from airwaves to algorithms, what matters more in the digital age?
Yeah.
Shine, Brian, Judith.
Well, from the discussion from here and at IMC, we see that radio is not going anywhere. Radio is quite important to the career, and the social media handles is just another tool,
right,
to get noticed. But if you have that impact of that human element, that trusted element, that is saying to the listeners that this track is the next big thing, and you need to listen to it, and we are beat it all over the world with our reach as a radio station. If you can't see that by now, we have been speaking to you and even brought it here to you. If you didn't get to go to the IMC, boy, we don't know what else to do.
Well, what I would say,
Brian?
Yes, building on what you said, Shine, there are a couple of things. One, we continue to do the work we do. Right. But I think artists need to understand something. Every big artist in the world that has really gotten somewhere, or even the person who has been good locally, they all say it was this DJ on this radio station that played my song that made it work. Right. So you need to understand that. Right. The other thing too is you need to understand, I think, as an artist, that you need to be good at your craft. You need to produce something that people will want to consume. And I don't want any artist who is listening to this now to feel we were beating up on them when we were saying what we were saying earlier. We are just talking some uncomfortable truths, but they are truth. And we're telling the truth because we are trying to help these artists to move ahead. And we've seen some movement there, because we've seen some of these artists who say, no, we don't need you on radio because we're on social media. And we see them come back very quietly around the corner.
They're coming back right now.
Coming back and saying, hey, boy, we need radio play. Boy, what do you think about this tune? So they're learning, but they could short circuit that and do it quicker. Just get on board.
Right away.
Right away.
Right away. Yeah. Well, I think it's important.
Very quickly.
Yes.
Judith?
Very quickly, I want to just say that radio is now a hub for content across platforms. Streaming gives you access, but radio gives you community, and community moves culture. So we need to stick with that. I want to big up Spice, because she was like an IMC ambassador. Every day she came and was asking questions of everybody, and she just pulled out all the stuff. Big up Idonia, because he turned out for the Young Artist Showcase, and if you saw it on social media, how he just gave us strength to all of the young artists. So big up to them for that, and then big up to Ministry of Culture, Jamaica Tourist Board, KFC, Tasty, for the amount amount of money that they put into creatives.
Well,
Wow.
we're out of time.
Yeah, just a big thank you and a quick synopsis. You heard it here tonight. And, while social media offers speed and global reach, radio continues to provide credibility, accountability, like Judith said, community connection, and real-time reliability. As the industry evolves, the conversation is not about radio survival, but about how its legacy of trust, regulation, and human connection positions it to remain relevant in the digital age.
Same so.
Get on board.
Get on board. Radio.
Big up Iris for a time like this.
You better.
Thank you, Judith Bodley. Always a pleasure to have you.
Judith Bodley, good to hear you, darling.
Good to hear you too. It would be good to see you at IMC.
You can see me next year when you move it.
Yes, he's one of those.
Wide angle lens to see him. I'd like to say one last thing.
Yes.
Creatives often complain that nobody is doing anything to help them. That's absolutely not true. IMC is proof.
There you go.
Yes.
That's a good way.
Thank you, Brian.
All right, Judith, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you,
Bye-bye.
Brian. Thank you, Sunshine.
Yeah, thank you, DJ Sunshine, for coming through, and Brian Schmidt for gracing us. This is his first EBUZZ, and him come out dapper, like he stepped out of GQ magazine. All this level of extraness was not called for,
No, man. You remember, he had to go somewhere before.
Oh, yes.
But you could have put on a polo and come. But no, you're in this.
No, you don't remember. But brother Bob, we had to. Brian had to really, dress up to send him off.
Well, I say it's serious. I want fashion runway in my work with. Thanks everyone.
Yeah, no, you're rocking that suit though.
We want to say thanks to our producer,
Shaquille
Gale.
Them know, so your areas look.
Sure. Shaquille Gale, thank you so much. Technical operator, DJ Kamara in studio, engineer. I didn't see crack. I think I lollipop me see. And of course, telephone operator, Siobhan Henry. Social media specialist Peter Brodba. Join us next week for another exciting edition of the EBUZZ. I'm DJ Bones.
And I'm Kishima Francis. Muta Baruka is up next with The Cutting Edge.
We out of here.
We out.
Everybody feel irate when they listen to irate. Everybody love irate.